protests were headquartered in McPherson Square. There we saw a familiar face in the crowd.
The March of the Dead is going on now. You want to come say?
Looks like we weren't the only people to notice him. Perhaps he could explain a little better what this protest was all about.
It's a demonstration that democracy doesn't work when you have to protest. The central power of government is lawmaking. So if the people could make laws, they wouldn't have to protest. But they can't make laws, and that's why they have to protest, because representative government is broken. And what I've tried to do with this campaign is to acquaint Americans that, based upon the definition of Cicero, of freedom, freedom is to participate in power. Here we're 5 years into a war. It's going to probably cost over, what, $3 trillion before it's all done. We could have gotten off of oil with this $3 trillion. We spend more on defense than all the rest of the world put together. This is the military-industrial complex that controls our society, that controls the people in Congress, that controls the presidential candidates, one of which likely will become president. And that's the reason why our economy is going into the toilet. The American people, unless they shape up, they deserve what they're going to get. And that's a lot of pain.
Hey, I'm Jenna. I'm with Students for Democratic Society. It's good to see you all here. So SDS is here to funk the war. We're here to celebrate with you all and show everyone that from Iraq to Afghanistan to New Orleans, it's the youth and students who are always going to bear the brunt of this funked up war. So meet at Franklin Park at noon to have a student dance party through the streets to dance out U.S. Empire.
The students dancing took them as far as an armed forces recruiting center. But there not everyone was singing the same tune.
To protect your rights, you have no idea what it takes to do what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, newsflash, SDS wants the military and they're just pitching. Who's going to protect you against the terrorists? If you look at some of the recent statistics that have come out, the levels of monthly attacks are down to where they were in 2004, in some areas in 2005. We're winning over this.
I'm here today to show my support for my fellow soldiers and my brave men and women of the military, and to show that there is a good support out there for what they're doing, and to let the world know that there are people out here who support what they're doing and support them and want them to finish their mission with honor and victory, however long that may take, whatever form it may come in. But to just come out here and participate in democracy and express my opinion while others are expressing theirs. And that's the glory of the government and establishment and freedom that we have in this country. The perspective is normally that because we're on the pro-military side that we're pro-war, and that's not the case. Many of us are soldiers, many of us are veterans and stuff, so you know, we're the ones that want peace the most, because everybody else who's not in the military is able to stay here and enjoy their environment, while the others have to go and serve and sacrifice, you know. So we want peace more than anybody else. I want my family and my friends to come back more than anybody else here, really, because I miss them. I really do. My uncle's on his 45th tournament, and not being able to see him and only hear from him once, twice a month is difficult. But I'm thankful that he's doing what he's doing, and he's giving others the opportunity. Take care, Kobe. He's giving others the opportunity to be able to have that same voice and that same appreciation, and to have a chance at a better life where women can go to school, to where they can sit and talk about human rights and have a just judicial system and not have a tyrannical regime that just clamps down on its people.
I think
Back at the square, we met with the writer and peace activist, Frida Berrigan.
My name is Frida Berrigan, and I'm an organizer with the War Resisters League, which is based in New York City. It's the oldest secular pacifist organization in the country. It's about 85 years old. It was founded by conscientious objectors to World War I, and women organizing, well, I guess, and men as well, organizing for women to have the right to vote. So we were founded by resistors to war, and believe that war is a crime against humanity, that war is never necessary, that war essentially is a failure of the imagination. The War Resisters League organized with a number of other groups a blockade at the Internal Revenue Service, which is the body that collects U.S. tax dollars. And we were there because we see the IRS as one of the pillars of war, one of the institutions that is keeping this war going against the will of the American people. And it's just sort of perpetuating this war that none of us want to be involved in. The idea was to sort of symbolically put our bodies between the money that's flowing in to that institution and then the blood that flows out. Essentially, when we pay our tax dollars, 50 cents on the dollar goes to the Pentagon, goes to the war machine, goes into bombs and guns and tanks that are used in Iraq and Afghanistan, and as part of the global war on terror. So 35 people were arrested there. We had more than 100 people sort of as part of the march and the demonstration. We gave out tons and tons of literature as we were marching along, and we had these signs that say $720 million being what we spend each day on the war in Iraq. And then those signs were next to signs that indicate what else we can be spending that money on. That money could, spent other ways, spent on education, could mean college educations for 4,900 people, right? So you get to see a little of what we lose when we spend so much on the military.
Happen all across the country, which is happening in over 20 cities today. We speak for the majority of the people in this country, and we speak for the majority of the people of this world.